ॐ नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 2 श्लोक 21 वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कंघातयति हन्तिकम्। We have seen the Bhāshya explaining the shloka. Now there is a discussion. Purvapakshi comes and asks a question. Seems to be a simple question, but he has an agenda. When he asks a question and you think it's a simple question and you answer, then he will open up his agenda. This is Purvapakshi's trick. It is called Gudhabhisandhi. When he asks a question, there is a hidden motive which he will open up later on. We will read. Vidushaha kam karma sambhave hetu vishesham पश्यन् कर्माणि आक्षिपति भगवान् कथं स पुरुषः इति. So, as though he is asking a doubt. In this shloka, Bhagavan negated the karma of a jnani. A jnani does not have karma because a jnani does not have kartrutva. Therefore, karma is not possible. Even if he performs a karma physically, it cannot be counted as a karma because he does not have kartrutva. He does not attribute reality to anything that he does. Therefore, his karma is as good as no karma. Therefore, the injunctions of the Shastra also do not apply to a jnani. Karma do not have relevance. The injunctions of karma do not have relevance as far as a jnani is concerned. Therefore, a jnani is free from karmas. Even the karmas that are enjoined by the Shastra are not applicable to a jnani. When this is heard, Purvapakshi asks a question. Vidushaha karma sambhave kam hetu vishesham pashyan. Vidushaha karma sambhave. On the untenability of action for a vidwan, of a jnani, karma asambhava. Karma is not possible as far as a jnani is concerned. What is the hetu vishesha? What is the specific reason? Pashyan, seeing, being aware of. Bhagavan karmani akshipati. Bhagavan is negating the karma of a vidwan. Being aware of what reason Bhagavan is negating karma of a vidwan. The possibility of karma in a vidwan. Katham sa purushaha iti. That is where the karma is negated. The negation of karma, karma akshepa, is done in this line. Katham sa purushah partha kam ghatayati hantikam. So, Purvapakshi is asking for the hetu, the reason that led Bhagavan to negate karma. So, what is the hetu? What is the reason? Then Siddhanti says, this is a simple question whose answer has been already told. Nanu uktaha eva atmanaha avikriyatvam sarva karma sambhava karana visheshaha. Nanu uktam. So, though it is starting with Nanu, it is not Purvapaksha, it is Siddhanta. Generally, when there is a Purvapaksha, it starts with Nanu. But here it is not Purvapaksha, it is Siddhanta. Nanu. Nanu uktaha eva. It is told. Hasn't it been told? Nanu uktaha eva. Hasn't it been told? What is not told? What is told? Atmanaha avikriyatvam. The avikriyatva of the Atma. Atma is avikriyaha. Atma does not have vikriyas. And it is hetu for karma sambhava. Sarva karma sambhava karana visheshaha. It is the karana vishesha, the specific hetu for sarva karma asambhava, the impossibility of any action in a jnani. So this is question. We are asking a counter question to Purvapakshi. The hetu is already given. Have I not told? So then Purvapakshi opens up what he is intending, how he has a plan to attack. So in the first question he looks innocent. But now he opens up his agenda. That is why we have to be careful while arguing. Initially they may look innocent and they might sometimes appear as though they are saying the right thing, but somewhere they will twist. So, see Purva Paksha. Satyam uktaha natu saha karana visheshaha anyatvad vidushaha avikriyadatmanah iti nahi avikriyam sthanum viditavatah karma na sambhavati iti chet. This much is Purva Paksha. So you can mark which is Siddhanta and which is Purva Paksha. It is better to mark. For Siddhanta you can write S or something. For Purva Paksha you can write Gita Press, it is given. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That is why Gita Press has done a good job. So they have split and given which is Siddhanta, which is Purva Paksha. And editing is properly done. Yeah. But it's a kind of spoon feeding. In the original book you cannot find Siddhanta Purva Paksha written like in this book. You cannot find. So you have to figure out on your own, reading the Vyakhyana, etc. So for beginners it is good, Gita Press. But later on we should get used to reading without such helps. That is why for all Upanishads we need not get Gita Press Bhāshya book. So Kathopanishad is okay. In the beginning you can make use of Gita Press. Later on better to use Kailasashram book, because that is there you will learn how to figure out certain things. Yeah. When everything is spoon fed, people will not learn how to eat without spoon feeding. So it's good for beginners, but later on we have to graduate to higher level without such help. So yeah, Satyam uktaha, Purva Pakshi says Satyam, true. Karana visheshaha uktaha, Karana Vishesha was told. You told a Karana. You gave a reason. But in reality it is not a reason. Natu saha Karana Visheshaha. But it cannot be accepted as a valid reason. What you have said, avikriyatvam, it cannot be accepted as a valid reason. Why? Anyatvad vidushaha avikriyatvad atmanah iti. Because Vidwan is different and avikriya atma is different. Vidwan, Jnani, Atma Jnani is a different person. And the avikriya atma is a different person, is a different thing. Therefore, knowing the avikriya atma does not make a difference in the jnani. It is as good as knowing any other inactive object. This table is inactive, it does not move on its own. It does not have hands and legs. It does not move on its own. Knowing that will not make me free from karma. Because I am different, the table is different. Knowing that the table is avikriyaha is not going to cause any difference in me. Because it is not myself, it is different. This is Purva Paksha. So, Anyatvad vidushaha avikriyādatmanah iti. Vidushaha avikriyādatmanah anyatvat. Vidushaha anyatvat. Vidushaha is Shashti. Vidushaha anyatvat. Vidvan is anya. Vidvan anyaha. It can be mentioned as vidushaha anyatvat. For example, Devadattaha balakaha. Devadatta is a balaka. It can be mentioned as Devadattasya balakatvam. Devadatta has balakatva or balyam. Then Devadatta becomes Shashti. So Vidwan Atma, it can be mentioned as Vidushaha Atmatvam. Vidushaha Atmatvat. Sorry, Vidushaha Anyatvat. That is Purva Paksha. Vidwan is different, is Purva Paksha. Different from what? Avikriyad Atmanaha. Different from Avikriya Atma. Avikriyad Atmanaha Anyatvat. Different from Avikriyat. So, Avikriyad Atmanaha is Panchami. Because Anya governs Panchami Vibhakti. Whatever is something different from what? It is put in Panchami. Avikriyadatmanaha anyatvat iti. And he gives an example. So, since Atma is different from Vidwan, knowing that Atma is avikriyaha is not going to make any difference in the Vidwan. This is Purvapakshi's argument. And he gives an example. I gave the example of table. He says Sthanuhu. Sthanu means a pillar. A pillar which does not move is Sthanuhu. So, nahi avikriyam sthanum viditavataha karma na sambhavati. Avikriyam sthanum viditavataha. One who has understood, one who has known a sthanu, a pillar which is avikriyaha, which does not have any changes, it does not move. The pillar does not move. If I know that, my karmas don't go away. Karma na sambhavati iti na. Double na. One who knows an avikriya sthanu, he does not have karma. Karma is not possible in him. It is not there. It is not a valid statement. Even after knowing the avikriya sthanu, the person can perform karma. Because it is not going to cause any change in me. Knowing that something else is avikriya is not going to cause any difference in me. My karma will continue. My kartrutva will continue and my karma will also continue. This is Purva Paksha. Iti chet, if it is so, it is Purva Paksha. Then Siddhanti says, Na vidushaha atmatvat na देहादि संघातस्य विद्वत्ता अतः पारिशेष्यात् असंहतः आत्मा विद्वान् अविक्रियः इति तस्य विदुषः कर्मासंभवात् आक्षेपो युक्तः कथं स पुरुषः इति। सिद्धांति न, it is not true. Your argument is not correct. Because vidushaha atmatvat, vidwan is atma. Vidwan, the knower, is atma. Therefore, knowing the Atma makes a difference in the Vidwan. When a Vidwan has known the Atma, he has known himself. And he has understood himself as avikriyaha. Aham avikriyaha. Not that some other Atma is avikriyaha. He has understood himself as avikriyaha. Therefore, he is free from kartrutva. Vidushaha atmatvat. Therefore, your argument, a vidwan is different, is not correct. Now, Purvapakshi might ask, how can vidwan be atma? How can you say Vidwan is Atma? Then we are analyzing an individual to establish that Vidwan is nothing but Atma. In an individual, there are two things. One is the Upadhi, which is Dehadi Sanghata. Dehadi Sanghataha. Sanghata means assemblage. When certain things are put together, it becomes a Sanghata, an assemblage. Anything in the world that we see is an assemblage. The table is an assemblage, a Sanghata, because there is assembly. All parts are assembled together with the screw and nails, nuts, everything. Likewise, this building is an assemblage, a Sanghata. So many parts, so many components are put together. It is a Sanghata. Likewise, your vehicle, car, two-wheeler, they are also Sanghata, assemblage. Likewise, this body is also a Sanghata. It is also many things put together. Our Upadhi is made of various components. The Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Manas. Sukshma Sharira in itself includes so many ingredients. So, this body, mind and senses, Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira, they are together referred to as Karya Karana Sanghata. Karya means Sthula Sharira and Karana means Sukshma Sharira in this context. Karya Karana Sanghata. the assemblage of Karya and Karana. The assemblage that consists of Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. It is called Dehadi Sanghata. Here Bhāshyakara refers to it as Dehadi Sanghata. The assemblage of body, mind, senses, etc. That is what sometimes they call body, mind, sense complex. So, Karyakarana Sanghata. Dehadi Sanghata is Jada, because all components that form this Sanghata is Jada. It is insentient. Every part that forms this Sanghata is insentient. And the Sanghata itself also is insentient. No Sanghata can be sentient. It is Jada. Not only it is Jada, it is Parartha. There is an argument. Sanghatanam Pararthatvat. Any Sanghata is meant for something other than itself. A Sanghata does not serve its own purpose. A Sanghata is Paraprayukta and Parartha. It is Paraprayukta and Parartha. Paraprayukta means it is impelled by some other person who is different from the Sanghata. It is impelled by a sentient being who is different from the Sanghata. For example, your car. The car cannot drive itself. You have to drive the car. That is when it moves. So a Sanghata is Paraprayukta. It is made to work by some sentient agent. And it is Parartha. The car does not move for itself. If the car goes from one place to another place, it does not go for its own work. In that case, your car will go to Haridwar and come and say, oh, I wanted some petrol, so I went to Haridwar and got some petrol and drank some petrol and came back. It doesn't happen. It is Parartha. It is meant for you, for the traveler. It serves the purpose of the sentient being. Likewise, even this body, Dehadi Sanghata or Karyakarana Sanghata, it is impelled by a sentient being, the sentient Atma, the Chaitanya, which is different from the Sanghata. The Atma is distinct from the Sanghata. Therefore, the Atma is called Asamhataha. Atma is neither a Sanghata, nor he is a component of Sanghata. Therefore, Atma is called Asamhataha, not associated with Sanghata, independent of Sanghata. That is Chaitanya. Now, this Dehadi Sanghata cannot have Vidvatta. because Dehadi Sanghata is insentient. It is subservient to the Atma. Therefore, it cannot be the knower. The knowerhood, Vidvatta, the knower status, the Dehadi Sanghata cannot enjoy the knower status because it is Jada. You cannot attribute the knower status to the Dehadi Sanghata. Therefore, Bhāshyakara says, Na Dehadi Sanghatasya Vidvatta. Dehadi Sanghata does not have Vidvatta. It does not have the status of being Vidwan. You cannot adore the Deha as Vidwan. It does not have the ability to be the knower. It is not competent to be the knower, being Jada. Therefore, where will you attribute the knower? To what will you attribute the knower status? If the body cannot be the knower, then who is called the knower? There is only one thing left. It is called Parisheshya Nyaya. Parisheshya means, suppose there is a, 4 option questions are there. Kaun banega karodpati? So 4 options are given. You don't know the right answer, but you know that other 3 are wrong. Other 3 are wrong, you know. Then finally, the law of elimination, the process of elimination, you arrive at the right answer. By the process of elimination, you arrive at the right answer. It is called Parisheshya. Or Ekashesha Nyaya. Parisheshya or Ekashesha Nyaya. So, Parisheshyat. So, body cannot be the Vidwan. Dehadi Sanghata cannot be the Vidwan. Then what remains in an individual is the Atma. Ataha, therefore, Parisheshyat, by the method of elimination, Asamhata Atma Vidwan, Asamhataha Atma, the Atma who is not Samhata. He is free from the Sanghata. He is neither a Sanghata himself, nor he is a part of the Sanghata. He is distinct from the Sanghata, independent of the Sanghata. Therefore, Asamhataha. Asamhataha Atma Vidwan. The Atma is Vidwan. The Vidvatta, Vidwan status has to be attributed only to the Atma, not to the body, mind or anything. And therefore, the Vidwan is Avikriyaha. So when the Vidwan knows the Atma as Avikriyaha, it results in the understanding Vidwan himself is Avikriyaha. I am Avikriyaha. Iti, because of this, Tasya Vidushaha, karma sambhavat. Therefore, the Vidwan cannot have karma. The Atmajnani cannot have karma because he knows I am not the Karta. I am the Avikriya Atma. Therefore, Katham sa Purushaha iti akshepo yuktaha. This akshepa, this negation of karma, Katham sa Purushah Partha ityadi, is yuktaha, is very much proper, very much logical, very much tenable. Yuktaha. Yuktaha or upapannaha means tenable. Now Purvapakshi may have another possible doubt, another possible objection. The Purvapaksha is not presented here, but Bhāshyakara answers. Now Purvapakshi may say, see, according to you, Atma is Avikriyaha and the Vidwan is Atma. Therefore, Vidwan has to be Avikriyaha. So now, before he got a Jnana, he was not a Vidwan, he was Avidwan. After he got a Jnana, he became Vidwan. Therefore, the Vidvatta, the Vidwan status of the Atma has come now. Earlier the Atma was Avidwan. Now he has become Vidwan. Therefore, the Atma, which is nothing but Vidwan, has undergone a change. Earlier the Atma was Avidwan, now he is Vidwan after getting Jnana. Therefore, there is Vikriya in the Atma. If you say Vidwan is Atma, you will have to accept that Atma has Vikriya. If you want to escape from this, then you will have to say Vidwan is different from the Atma. Then Siddhanti answers this possible question. Though Vidwan is Atma, there is no real modification happening in the Atma. How does the Atma become Vidwan? When a jnana, Atma jnana happens in the mind, in the upadhi, and it is attributed to the Atma, then the Atma is referred to as Vidwan. The Atma conditioned by the jnana, the Brahma jnana as a vritti, the vritti jnana, then the Atma is called Vidwan. But now, the vritti, the antahkarana, they are all mithya. Neither the antahkarana is real, nor the vritti is real. Therefore, the factors that cause the status of Vidvatta in the Atma is not real. Therefore, the Vidvatta of the Atma, the Vidwan status of the Atma is also not real. Therefore, Atma has not really undergone any change in its own nature. Therefore, though the Atma is Vidwan, though Vidwan is Atma, it does not mean Atma has undergone any change. The Swarupa of the Atma remains intact without any change. But in the Upadhi there is a change. There is a modification. But the modification in the Upadhi does not affect the Atma. And the same thing is true with every knowledge, with every cognition. Who is the knower? Any knowledge, knower of any knowledge. The knower is called Pramata. Knower of any object is called Pramata. Who is the knower? You cannot say Atma is the Pramata. Because if Atma is Pramata, that means Atma gets new knowledge every moment. So when the Atma sees the pot, Atma gets pot knowledge. Then there is a change in the Atma. It does not happen so. Atma does not have Pramatratva. Atma is not the cognizer. Then where does the cognition happen? All cognitions are happening in our mind, in our antahkarana. When I know a pot, a vritti happens in my antahkarana. Ghatakara vritti. And because of my aviveka, because of my ignorance, I identify with the antahkarana vritti. And I identify myself as the knower of the pot. Then I say, I know the pot. In fact, the Atma is not the knower. The process of knowledge does not really belong to the nature of the Atma. It is happening in the antahkarana vritti. When I identify with the antahkarana vritti, I become the knower. So my pramatratva, my pramatra status, my cognizer status is because of my identification with the antahkarana vritti. Because of the antahkarana upadhi, I become pramata, not in my essential nature. It is true with any cognition. And the same thing applies to Brahmajnana also. When I get Brahmajnana, even Brahmajnana is in the form of a vritti in my antahkarana, in my mind. aham brahmasmi, I get a vritti. Even Brahmajnana is in the form of a thought, a cognition, like any other understanding. And when the jnana happens, jnana occurs in the mind, qualified with the antahkarana vritti, I become a vidwan. I, the Atma is referred to as a vidwan. Therefore, there is no change happening in the swarupa of the Atma when I become a vidwan. The change is happening only in the antahkarana. That is the idea. And the change in the antahkarana does not cause a change in the Atma, because antahkarana belongs to a lesser order of reality. Antahkarana and antahkarana vritti both are mithya. Atma is satyaha. Therefore, from the standpoint of a jnani is not even a jnani. If a jnani identifies himself as a jnani, he is not a jnani, because his jnana is mithya. Therefore, his jnani status is also mithya. And a jnani has to be aware of it. Only when he is aware of it, he is a jnani. The jnana is proper. But from the standpoint of an ajnani, he is a jnani, because he is associated with the mind. From the empirical standpoint, he is a jnani. Not from the absolute standpoint. From the absolute standpoint, there is no jnana and ajnana. This is something to be thought about. You can think about it and try to understand. So, Bhāshyakara clarifies. See, yatha बुद्ध्याद्याहृतस्य शब्दाद्यर्थस्य अविक्रियः एव सन् बुद्धिवृत्त्यविवेकविज्ञानेन अविद्यया उपलब्धा आत्मा कल्प्यते एवमेव आत्मानात्मविवेकज्ञानेन बुद्धिवृत्त्या विद्यया असत्यरूपया एव परमार्थतः अविक्रियः एव आत्मा Vidwan uchyate. It's very clear. Bhāshyakara makes it very crystal clear. Yatha, just as buddhyādi āhratasya, perceived by buddhi, etc. Buddhi, etc. means buddhi, manaha, indriyani, everything, all are included in the process of perception. Therefore, buddhyādi āhratasya, perceived by buddhi, etc. What? Shabdadyarthasya, shabdadi artha, the sense objects like shabda, etc. They are perceived by buddhi and Indriyas. They are the ones who really do the process of cognition, do the process of perception. Atma remains avikriyaha. There is no modification in the Atma. Avikriyaha eva san. Atma remains avikriyaha. In any perception, the Indriyas work, and Indriyas give the input to the Buddhi, and a modification happens in the Buddhi, in the Antahkarana. The modification happens in the Antahkarana. Atma remains avikriyaha. And being avikriyaha, Atma illumines the Antahkarana vritti. See here, perception cannot happen without the blessing of the Atma, without the sannidhi of the Atma, without the presence and blessing of the Atma, perception cannot happen. Therefore, Atma is needed to bless the perception, to bless the vritti with the Chaitanya. But the Atma is not doing anything. Atma is avikriyaha. Therefore, the pramatritva cannot be attributed to the Buddhi itself. The pramatritva is not possible without the Chaitanya Atma. Therefore, the pramatritva has to be attributed to the Atma. Without Atma, pramatritva is not possible. But the Atma Swarupa is free from pramatritva. The pramatritva is brought about by buddhyadi upadhi. Buddhi, buddhivritti, ityadi upadhi. That is what we have to understand here. I hope it is clear. So, buddhivritti aviveka vijnanena avidyaya. Avidyaya, because of avidya, there is buddhivritti aviveka vijnana. There is a false identification with the buddhivritti. Aviveka vijnana means a false identification. The vijnana, the identification, which is aviveka, which is lacking in viveka, which is lacking in the understanding of distinction between the two. So I identify with the buddhivritti. And the identification happens because of avidya, ajnana. So because of the ajnana, I identify myself as pramata. And then upalabdha atma kalpyate. Atma upalabdha kalpyate. Atma is kalpyate. So upalabdhritva is kalpita. It is superimposed on the Atma. Because it is not real. There is no real upalabdhritva in the Atma. Upalabdha means pramata. Pramata atma kalpyate. Atma as though becomes pramata. Avidyaya, because of avidya. So because of avidya there is buddhivritti aviveka vijnana. And because of the buddhivritti aviveka vijnana, Atma gets the status of pramata. So this is what happens for an ajnani also, everyone. Everyone is upalabdha, no worse. Everyone is pramata. So pramatritva is there universally. So even the jnana happens in the pramata. Brahma jnana also. So tatha Evameva, in the same manner, when do we call a person Vidwan? When do we call a person Jnani? When he gets the Atma Jnana. Instead of Shabdadi Vishaya Jnana, when he gets the Atma Jnana, which is also in the form of a vritti, then he becomes a Vidwan. That is the only difference in the same Antahkarana. Because of the same Antahkarana Upadhi, he becomes a Vidwan. Evameva Atmanatma Viveka Jnanena, because of the Atma Anatma Viveka Jnana, Buddhi Vrittya, and the Viveka Jnana is in the form of a Buddhi Vritti. It is also in the form of a modification in our Antahkarana as a result of Shavana, as a result of Vedanta Vakya, Shastrajanya Buddhi Vritti. Vidyaya, and this is Vidya. The Buddhi Vritti is Vidya, Jnana. Asatya Rupaya Eva, and the Buddhi Vritti is Mithya, Asatya Rupa. Even the Buddhi Vritti, which is Atma Jnana, it is also Mithya. Yeah. Even Atma Jnana is not a Satya, it is also Mithya. Just like any other vritti. But the Mithya vritti is enough to destroy other Mithya things. When Ajnana itself is Mithya, it can be removed by the Mithya Buddhi Vritti. It is called Yakshanurupo Balihi. So when suppose you are doing puja to this small Krishna, baby Vigraha, Murti is there. You do puja. How much of offering do you need? Only a little bit of offering is enough. A little bit of dry fruits or whatever you can offer. Because the pratima itself is tiny. But suppose it is a big statue, big Vigraha, then the offering also should be large. You cannot give tiny offering. Likewise, when people eat, you have to see the body of the person, how much he will eat. If he is a big person, you have to serve more while serving. If it's a small person, you have to guess, oh, this man will eat only 1 spoon of rice or only 1 roti, serve only 1 roti. So that is Yakshanurupo Balihi. Likewise, when the avidya itself is mithya, to remove that you need only a mithya buddhi vritti in the form of atmajnana. So asatya rupaya eva, the buddhi vritti is also asatya. Paramarthataha avikriyaha eva atma, but the atma is paramarthataha avikriyaha eva. Paramarthataha, in reality, the atma does not undergo any modification. All modification is happening in the buddhi vritti, and the buddhi vritti is asatya, mithya. Therefore, it cannot affect the atma as well. Eva atma vidvan uchyate. Atma is called Vidwan because of the Buddhi Vritti, the Antahkarana Vritti, in the form of Atma Jnana. Therefore, Atma, when the Atma becomes Vidwan, it does not mean there is Vikriya in the Atma. Atma is avikriya. But then this ajnani gets a vritti. And then he becomes Vidwan. That does not mean Atma has undergone any change. Atma remains avikriya. Therefore, Purvapakshi's objection that when he becomes Vidwan, Atma becomes Vikriyaha is not valid. Therefore, Vidwan does not have karma, holds good, holds true. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.